Welcome back to Trumbull Valley and the Salt of the Earth. We've got Lank the Bee-Man here. He's ready to get into some trouble. We would like to earn him enough influence that he can replace this Big Hank rifle with the golden
Hey, neighbor.
AK.
Here from up at the ranger station.
Isby,
I've got a side project I've been working on. Anybody available to help me out?
can't you see I'm talking, Isby? Anyway, we've had some problems up here with this mission. Last time I tried it, it was incredibly broken. And so I want to give it another try just to see if I can diagnose what's going wrong with it. So that's going to be where we start. So when I was playing this community in Drucker County, the main goal was just to go through all of the
Hey, I'm feeling hopeful. Was that
locations and vacuum up as much gear as I possibly could. And that was kind of fun, but this map has got so much story content. It's like whenever it pops up, like I want to chase it down. I want to do that instead. So we're getting a little bit more of a mission-filled experience with this with this round with the Salt of the Earth. But maybe that's all right. I do try to bring a lot of stuff home. I mean, I am running around in this Vandito rather than, taking one of the smaller vehicles. Oh, there's a screamer back there. Should probably do something about him. So yeah, we'll head out to the trappers, the face rockers, and we'll try to figure out if I take another route into Marshall, will I be able to avoid the... Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh, what is this? Oh, okay. You can probably barely see what's going on here. I somehow managed to get myself on top of a cone. Wow, look at that nonsense. I think I might have to use the stuck command. No, okay, we got loose. Good. Awesome. Okay, so let's plan to go this direction to get into the farmlands, and we'll come back this way too. Last time we went via Little Piggy Towing, and that's where I had my problem. So we're gonna try to go this way and see, assuming they send me back to Marshall, because usually these long-term arcs do send you to the same places again and again. So assuming they send me back to Marshall, I'm gonna see if going a different route avoids that bug that I wrote yesterday. No one might says it right now. They're just kicking the yoga balls around, and that's the fun that they're having. So, I just got a question on Twitter that that I thought it might actually be a good idea to answer on the stream. So, Donald Clark, or a real Samuraishi, says, I just found Malik's grave in Trumbull Valley. Do we need something that tells the story after Heartland and before now? So, in my mind, I don't think so. I think that it might be that there's a certain type of audience member, both for games and for movies and for everything, that are called lore explorers. People who are really motivated by the idea of uncovering every last piece of information, and really wanting to know every detail. And if there's any part of the story that has been told, okay, I'm gonna have to talk about this later. But yeah, if there's any part of the story that has not yet been told in exhaustive detail, that means that the story is unfinished, and we need to find out more. And I think that creates a lot of the hunger for prequels and midquels and all kinds of quills that that are all about.
Hey, it's Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
Remember me? Yeah, I got something I've been meaning to do. You know, if you want to come along or whatever.
Anyway, telling parts of the story that have heretofore only been suggested. But I don't know. I personally am not actually particularly interested in that kind of storytelling where you're just going through and, things that were suggested before, you're going through and just answering every single detail of it. For me, that's not as interesting. I'm not that type of audience member. And I think that I think the majority of... Well, it's not a numbers game. I'm not going to treat it like it's a numbers game. Personally, the way that I like to receive stories is I really like when a lot of a story is suggested. There's a sort of like artfulness to to sort of like hinting about things and letting the player or the viewer's, imagination fill in the gaps. And a lot of the time, I mean, it's like, when you roll dice again and again and again, eventually they're going to come up snake eyes, right? Like that's sort of what makes, craps in a casino. Eventually the house always wins, because you're not just going to go on a streak that lasts forever. You're going to roll snake eyes. And if you're just taking cracks at the same story again and again and again and again, filling in every single detail, at some point you're going to write something stupid and it's not going to work. and you're going to, something that worked when you suggested it was not entertaining to watch when you just acted it out. And so I think that it's a good thing when a game or any other piece of media, like artfully hints at a piece of the storyline and then leaves the rest of it up to your imagination. As long as they're not, leaving it open in a way that is unsatisfying or is just like, something's really missing or confusing or it's causing a problem in the story or understanding the plot.
Jesse, I've had a breakthrough. I'm heading your way to deliver something
By the way,
that should come in pretty useful.
what we're seeing is the consequences of us
Couldn't be happier.
unthrottling the Trumbull Valley storyline. You'll notice that originally you could only have one of these storylines open at once. Now that we've just completely removed that limit, we've got a huge number of missions. We've got Mickey over here, we got Isby, we've got Tressie, all at once, all vying for our attention. I feel like at some point we are going to have to just blitz through all of the Trumbull Valley content there. But anyway, so I think that I would not want to sort of write an additional story that sort of fills in the gaps between Heartland and the Homecoming update, because we've kind of got all the information we need, right? We know that Malik is dead. We know that Jurassic Junction was effectively destroyed. We know that Isby feels a ton of guilt about it, and we watch her overcome her guilt. So just watching that series of events play out, I don't think is necessary. We already know all the sort of character consequences of it, and so just walking through it would almost be cruel. It'd almost be like let's watch Malik die. It's like I think it's probably just not necessary. We already know the outcome, and we already know the meaning of it to the characters. And I don't know if there's anything else we'd really gain aside from just sort of satisfying that desire for a certain set of audience members who just really want to see every single detail for reasons, for like sort of, I don't know, personal preference reasons that don't really apply to the broader audience. Aside from that, I don't think there's really a reason to do it. So anyway, so that's my perspective on it. Like we would be, if we tried to do it, I think number one, it would, because there would be no surprises, because there would be nothing.
Hello to all the citizens of Trumbull Valley.
Oh my gosh.
This is Lily Ritter with the network. I'm reaching out because I'm worried about my friend Ray Santos.
4 missions.
He hasn't been answering his radio, and I'm getting a little worried. I'm sure it's nothing, but I'd appreciate it if someone could check and make sure everything is okay.
4 missions. All right. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Because yeah, like any part of a story, it's like there's a certain role that any given series of events in a storyline that a role that it plays. And if you've already completed that role by suggesting a series of events, just acting them out doesn't really add that much, except for just a sense of completionism. But I think that kind of completionism, it works well for if you're collecting something in a video game. I don't think it works as well for if you're telling the broader storyline of a game. I've talked a lot about that. I'm here to do a mission, so let's do a mission. Where is the person I need to talk to? They're over here. Hello? Hey, where? Okay, is something really important over here? Where you go? Oh my gosh! You're so rude. What was that about? Lee.
Please, join us inside.
Makes sense. Lead the way.
All right, let's see if this mission is broken the same way. So, one thing I reacted to briefly, but I was in the middle of a thought. They've got 2 vans. Are they just going to keep adding vans? Like, I know that we've got a vehicle duplication problem. In fact, I even mentioned it, I think, when I noticed that Jaden has been calling in the Prepper Ant mission. That, I mean, he's not adding vans, he's not adding Jeeps yet because that's the second mission, but he could just add Jeeps endlessly if we just kept letting that mission spawn. is this mission spawning vans in front of the trapper's house? Because last time I was here, there was only a red van, and now there's a blue van. Like, are we just gonna have a whole rainbow of vans here eventually? Oh,
Zombies.
that was a bad shot.
Finish
Get
what you
him.
started.
All right. Yeah, so like I said, let's take the western route into Marshall and see if that changes anything about how this mission plays out. Last time, the mission just declared that I had violated the mission critical area and ended before it began. Raneth Cord, I think we don't know what happened to Logan. We don't have a specific story on him, but there's several characters we don't have a specific story on. We know that Malik died. We don't know who else died. So, I mean, honestly, it's not like Malik was, like, particularly more important than the other characters in the base. I would kind of assume that if we didn't show the rest of their deaths, there's a good chance those people are still alive. But who knows? Okay, so we're headed to downtown Marshall specifically. So I think that means, I think it only counts as downtown Marshall. I think that's code for Eastern Marshall. So I'm gonna try to get the straightest, clearest path into downtown Marshall and try to follow it all the way in real quick and
I
see
see a plague zombie nearby.
what happens. Because it could be.
Back when I thought zombies needed to feed, I went searching for meds in the dark. Learn from my mistakes. Use your flashlight.
It could be there's just a weird corner of the downtown Marshall
I'm approaching the destination.
thing
We never forget the stakes.
that
That's how we
sticks
keep
out,
going.
and that's what caused
Just
it.
seems dangerous.
I'm here and beginning operations.
Okay, it didn't happen this time. Yeah, so it could be there's just a little corner of downtown Marshall that sticks out into the route I was on, and I clipped it, which triggered the mission, but then I wasn't in it anymore when the mission critical area triggered. Okay, so now we just need to kill zombies? Is that all we're doing? I can kill zombies. Of course, I got out in, like, the one part of Marshall with no zombies in it. Okay, never mind. Let's get back in the car and find some. Oh, Mr. Bumblehorse wants to know, is there a way for a survivor... Oh my gosh. Jose, shush. Is there a way for a survivor to gain plague resistance during the game rather than having to be rolled up with it? The answer is no, not to my knowledge. I don't think any of the traits we grant to characters mid-game, like via the travel conversations, stuff like that, I don't think any of those traits give a character plague resistance. So a lot of this is a mistake that I made. So I wrote very early in the process, like before Blood Plague.
We have a freak here.
Before Blood Plague even worked, I wrote this trait that was called. I forgot what it was exactly called, but it was suggesting that somebody was plague resistant because they had survived the Blood Plague in the past, and that gave players the impression that when someone survives the Blood Plague, they become plague resistant. That's not true. It was just a weird fictional thing I invented for a trait before there even was a functional Blood Plague in the game.
I should reload.
And we weren't even sure how Blood Plague was going to work at that point. And so, but yeah, I ended up leaving this inappropriate assumption
A horde is attacking.
in the trait text that sort of created this rumor that if someone survived the Blood Plague enough times, they would become plague resistant. So I've since I realized I'd caused this problem, I have since revised the text, the description of that trait, so it no longer directly suggests that that's how it should work. But I think the damage has been done and the rumor is already out there. And so there's not much I can do about that except just, answering questions like this and letting people know that no, you don't get, like getting Blood Plague a bunch of times does not give your character added plague resistance. So Lily's Apple is asking, is there a way to get a Haven capsule? Or wait, did you say a Haven? When you say Haven Core, she says Haven Core. I think you're probably talking about the Haven capsule. I assume you're talking about the item that lets you build the Haven device. We did deliberately make that
This
item
place shouldn't be a problem.
something that you can. It's just a normal item. It's something you can pass between people. And so, if you have a friend who wants to go through, who either doesn't care about their Haven device, or who doesn't mind going through the mission series twice, you can definitely have somebody trade you, like get into multiplayer with you and give you a Haven capsule, and that'll work just fine. You don't actually have to go through the storyline yourself if you've got somebody who's willing to hand you a capsule. But inside the game, going through the Cleo finale storyline is the only way to get it. I mean, we are trying to specifically suggest that Cleo is a unique piece of technology that no one's going to make again. That there's only one way to get a working Haven device, and that is to have actual Cleo in your base. Because otherwise, we want this piece of technology to be very rare and limited, because, it kind of, if it's easy to do, it kind of solves the zombie apocalypse, right? Like, the idea that there's only one piece of physical hardware, the Cleo core or whatever, the Cleo memory core. There's only one piece of hardware that can even house and support Cleo. And then Cleo is the only piece of software that can run the Haven device. That means there can only be one Haven device. At least until there's some of development that makes Cleo much more ubiquitous and powerful. So, if you want to have an AI apocalypse on top of your zombie apocalypse, maybe you can get a Haven device for every Haven device in every town. But, yeah. So, of course, the fact that you actually can go through this mission multiple times with different communities
Are you ready?
does mean that in practical terms there can be lots of Haven devices. But the hint in the story is that there should not be. Like if we start, for instance, the next game in a world, that is post State of Decay 2, that world would assume that there is only one Haven device somewhere in the world. And probably won't really integrate it into the story that much. It's a thing that we can kind of hold on to for later. One of the reasons why we wanted to tell this story with Cleo in the Homecoming update was specifically so that State of Decay 3 didn't have to worry about answering questions about Cleo. So I'm sure at some point she'll probably come up, but she's not really the focus. Like, a lot of we wanted to close off, and I've said this publicly before, we wanted to close off all of the cliffhangers and like sort of threads that we left hanging in State of Decay 2, so that State of Decay 3 wasn't saddled with them. So that, if State of Decay 3 ends up wanting to integrate Cleo somehow into the story, that's great. They're allowed to, but they're not required to, because we don't have this dangling thread just sitting there. Because that was kind of, I feel bad for the fact that is I think a mistake that I made in the Year 1 Survival Edition, is I started this Cleo thing, and was like, oh yeah, we're going to pay off on this, all these hints about this strange voice over the radio named Cleo. And then we ended up not paying off on it for literal years. We didn't pay off on it until Heartland, and that was only like a partial payoff. It had a cliffhanger of its own. And then we really only resolved the cliffhanger in the Homecoming update just now, and this game came out like 3.5 years ago. So, having learned a lesson from that, from like how kind of
We need to speed up.
unsatisfying Cleo was for a really long time, we're not going to saddle the next game with that. They get to kind of start with a clean slate and integrate, old parts of the lore into the game as they choose to, as they want to. But there isn't just this glaring, dangling thing that is just begging for a resolution, where people will feel like their first job is to resolve this storyline, because that shouldn't be their first job. Their first job should be to make a game that stands on its own. Stealthy assassin. Oh, I never even picked anything up. This is my home. I'm supposed to be dropping off my trapper friend. What am I doing? I just forgot what I was doing because I was having fun talking to you all. Stop being so fun. Oh, there's a Juggernaut near the base. Oh, hey, there's a Juggernaut near the base. Wait a minute. Before we go anywhere, let's go kill this Juggernaut, because I'm going to need to replenish my ammo, maybe grab some additional supplies. But we've got one bounty left. And that's the bounty to kill Juggernauts.
Too loud.
So let's grab ourselves some, whatever this is, 357. Load it up. It's going to be one of our tools, but we've also got a bunch of box mines. And a bunch of friends. Oh, sorry, Lee. Juggernaut, indecisive. Oh, what are you doing? Come here. Yeah, come after me. I'm the one with the mines. Come after me. I don't think that... Yeah, that one did not arm. Oh, is Lee gonna be standing next to it again? No, no. Mr. Juggernaut. Don't kill Lee. She's important for a mission.
Time to reload.
Hey, dude, come here. She's not one of our Trumbull characters, so she's not immortal. Okay, she's... I appreciate her tanking this zombie for me, but she can get out of there if she wants to. Come here. Hey! Okay, he doesn't care who's damaging him. He just cares who's close to him, so I gotta get close to him if I want him to... Oh! If I want him to follow me. Come here.
Gonna need more of those.
No, get off Lee. I'm seriously worried that he's about to kill her. Get off. No, not that zombie, you jerk. Oh!
I gotta slow down.
Okay, I think I just barely saved her. I think she was about to die. Whew. And now she looks fine. Okay, cool. Well, glad that all went well. And now I've got a mine. Okay, whatever. Well, okay, Lee, let's get back in the van.
My sickness is growing worse.
Is she just gonna, like, randomly die of blood plague later on? Is that what's gonna happen? Whew. So Travi wants to know if anybody is playing Far Cry 6 yet. I was actually considering maybe playing it today on the stream. I have not started it yet. I've downloaded it, but I haven't gotten started. I do really like the Far Cry games. I don't think I've won a Far Cry game in a long time because it's, you know, it falls into the category of Ubisoft games that are designed to be the only game you buy that year. And they've got so much content that you just, you know, can't possibly get through it all with a reasonable expenditure of time. But I do like them in theory. And so, you know, I enjoy, especially like the little fortress takeovers and stuff. There's a lot of really fun stuff that goes on in Far Cry games. So I am interested. And I do really like sort of their villain focus. You know, the fact they really, you know, bend their storyline around getting to know a villain and understanding their motivations and stuff. It's an interesting take on video game storytelling that I kind of enjoy. So, yeah, I am interested in checking it out. I'm not sure if it makes sense for me to play the beginning on the stream, just because it'll be mostly, I assume it'll be mostly story. And then the real Far Cry experience is going to start after you've gotten through the initial storyline stuff. So maybe I should play it on my own a little bit, and then once you're into the open world, maybe that's when I should start playing on the air.
You're welcome here.
Thanks! Alright. How long have we been streaming this? Not quite half an hour, probably. Let's, what else do we want to do? I should probably clear out some of these. Basically, we're just gonna keep getting Trumbull Valley storylines inflicted on us until I've completed them all. So, thinking where I am, let's just do the Santos legacy real quick.
Thank you so much. I'm sure everything is fine, but I can't help worrying. Last I heard, he was living with a group in the western part of the farmland. I'll mark it on your map.
I think this is a pretty quick mission anyway.
Hey, Lily. I'm near that location you just shared, but the house looks empty.
That's not good. I know this is asking a lot, but could you please check it out for me?
It just occurred to me. This is a weird thing to have in front of a house that people have supposedly recently been living in. Right? It's a little odd. Yeah.
Maybe there's a use for this.
I forgot where the thing is kept.
Too damn loud.
Oh, there it is.
Gonna have company.
Wait, or was that it? Maybe it's a different thing. Oh, right. That was just a little piece of incidental storytelling. All right, let's load some of this into the car. Did I just knock her arm off? That was a really heavy swing. Alright. Drop all the stuff that I don't expect to be stacking up.
Lily, you read me? I'm
Here's
out
the
here
map.
looking for Ray, but all I found is a map of some nearby farms.
No. Ray usually spends more time out in the field than at home. That map could lead you right to him. I suggest you start with the closest site and work out from there.
Where's the closest site? Wow, this is like a van bonanza around here.
Yeah, I think things are finally starting to look up a little.
Hello, I'm Ray. Nice to meet you. Let me guess. Lily sent you out looking for me because I haven't returned her calls. I should be upset, but the truth is, I could use a little help. I thought I had stashed some useful medicine here, but now I'm thinking the clinic up the road is my best bet. You mind keeping me company? I'm not moving as fast as I used to.
So, Sunny Games showed up in the chat. Yeah, folks are thanking Sunny Games for his videos because he comes up with some really good stuff about State of Decay 2. And he asks, who makes the suggestion to send sweet, unique swag to creators? That is our marketing team, led by Wonder Russell. Yeah, periodically they will come up with ideas like that, ways to sort of reward people who do some of our job for us. Getting out there and sort of spreading the word about State of Decay 2. We want people to feel good about being prominent members of our community, and so yeah. But usually those ideas they start Wonder will start brainstorming stuff, and then she'll get suggestions from all over our marketing team. So yeah, like those placemats, for instance, I'm pretty sure that was probably Megan Bishop's idea because she's the one who knew that she had the skills to make them, which, a big part of it is just like, well, what can we do? And so in that particular case, we had never seen her make something like that, but she knew that she could. And so, she's the one who I think probably suggested the placemats. I could be wrong about that. Maybe somebody else suggested it. She was like, I can make those. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, but there's there's a whole like kind of a small subset of people on the team who are sort of the marketing group, and so they come up with that stuff. I'm in that group. I usually have terrible ideas though, so it's other people who come up with the things we actually do.
Hey, the clinic I need to search isn't very far. Do you mind tagging along? Thank you, sincerely. The clinic is just up the road. It shouldn't take long to get there.
I'm gonna extract my payment from you, Ray.
If you don't mind me asking, why do you need my help with this?
My body keeps reminding me I'm not a young man anymore. I've just racked up too many miles, I'm afraid.
Got it.
Alright, I don't really need to dump all this stuff in here, but whatever. I figured there's gonna be stuff at the vet clinic I might want, so let's make some room in the inventory. Hey there, Moplants. Are you using my my blindfold emoji because you can, or did I miss something you wanted me to notice?
I'm afraid I let them down one time too many. I keep pretending like I'm a young, healthy guy, promising what I can't deliver. I just hope they don't blame Lily and the network for my failures.
Isabella, Nikki just told me where you went. Are you sure you're ready to go back there?
Relax, Doc. I know what I'm doing.
Okay then. Just be careful, alright?
Okay, I guess it's time to start searching the place.
Really? Is it time to do that?
Zed's first.
Yeah, thank you.
I like how you think.
That was noisy.
Hi.
That won't work.
That played out like it was a scripted event.
And that's the end of that story. We make a good team. Thanks for your help.
I love how
Can
Ray's
handle things from here.
whole tone changes.
I just need to find some painkillers and then rest here for a while.
Ray, I get the feeling there's something you're not telling me.
I apologize, my friend. I suppose I owe you the truth. The fact is, well, the fact is I'm dying.
What? You're dying?
Yeah, I'm afraid it's the big C. Cancer.
Cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. But how can you be sure?
I watched my father go through the same thing a long time ago. And my uncle, too. And now it's my turn. Even with so much work left to do. But please keep this quiet. Not many people will know, and I don't want folks worrying about me. Look, if I need more help, I promise to give you a call rather than getting into trouble by myself, okay?
All right, Ray. Be safe. We'll talk again soon.
Take care.
All right, let me see how much of this loot I can bring with me.
That just rang the dinner bell.
Yeah, I'm just gonna attract a bunch of zombies here, then let Ray deal with them. Oh, never mind. Ray doesn't care.
Take it easy. I'd say this place is cleaned out.
All right, we managed to cram everything into our pockets. Let's get home with this stuff. Let's see here. Oh, okay, there we go. Ah. Where's our house? Oh, there's an infestation down there. Okay, no, I need to not get distracted. I'm just constantly, when I'm trying to end a video, I'm just always getting distracted by additional things that I could go get into. But no, we're not doing that this time. We're gonna head down here. we're gonna go home. We're gonna end this video. Kind of want that news van now, though. Anyway, everything goes in. This goes
Supplies
in.
delivered
That
as promised.
and sanitizing machine. All right.
Damn, too loud.
We should build some new rooms while there's still space to swing a hammer.
All right. Let's make sure that we've got full pockets. Yeah, I think Link the Bee Man is done with his escapade. So, thank you for joining me on this journey. I think next time...
The zombies aren't letting up. I need every reinforcement you can send.
You hear that? A shout like that isn't a joke.
I'm not going to take it seriously, though. So... Anyway, I'm thinking that...
Hey out there, listen up.
I'm thinking we need to clear some missions off our plate so that I'm not dealing with quite so much just constant interruption from dialogue. So maybe in our next session, somebody needs to go out there and deal with some of these Trumbull Valley storylines. But for right now, let's wrap this up. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm going to put a little thing right there that lets you do that. The next video that I make in State of Decay 2 is going to be up there, so go ahead and click that if you want to keep going, unless there's nothing there, in which case I haven't made it yet. Stream's not over.